On to measurable. Measurable is one of both my challenges and my favorites. I call it my second favorite after actionable, but measurable means that it can be managed. Okay, there's an old saying in management: if it can't be measured, it can't be managed. And this is a huge reality. You can make all the changes you want, but if they don't have some type of measurable impact, you can't sell them to the boss as anything that you should have done or that you should likely to do again next year, or next quarter, or next month. So measuring it is important. You want to make sure that each goal that you make is something that can be measured, and that there's a measurement component to it. If you can't think of what the measurable component is, that's what we're there for. That's what your green change consultant is there for. That's something they help bring out. Let's say we use the example of we're going to change out our lighting. Okay, and we're going to run with that one maybe for a while until it stops serving our purpose. It's specific. We said, okay, we're going to specifically change out our lighting in X, Y, and Z building or X, Y, and Z office space. Through working with our green consultant, we determined that LED lighting would be the better alternative for us. We've picked out, all these other things, but we're at the point where we're saying, if we do it, how do we measure what our return on investment is? Well, maybe we'll just look at our electric bills from one month to the next and see if they go down after we install the new lighting. Okay, well, that's one way to do it. You might want to do, what you might want to do is say, okay, you know what, we have more people in the office this time of year, so take into account some reality. But go back to it and say, this means over this quarter of time, over this quarter, we're going to look at energy use, we're going to install the equipment, and then for the next 2 quarters, we're going to measure to see if we've got some down from that 1 quarter or 2 quarters that we had measurement bills from before. So we're going to look at your electricity bills, we're going to see where they are, we're going to try to account for outlying factors, such as if you had more people working more time, or you had to increase energy use because you used some new copier that was really gobbling up the juice. But we want to see if there's an energy reduction after we do this strategy. Measure things to make sure things go down. And measurable is one of those things that, like itself, it has other things under it that are M words that kick back to it. Okay? Is your measurement meaningful? Meaningful is a big M word associated with measurable. Are you measuring something that the organization that you're serving actually cares about? Cost savings? Are you measuring cost savings? Are you measuring environmental impact if they care about that? What exactly are you measuring? Is it meaningful? Is it motivational? It's another great M word that ties into measurable. 2 words that almost in the mind couldn't be further apart, right? You're talking about measurable, which is like this kind of science and number-based stuff. You're talking about motivational. What is motivating about the goal that you set in terms of its measurability? Does it motivate you to know that we measured based on, we changed 100 light bulbs? Maybe that's motivational. Is this more motivational? Maybe. We lowered costs by 8% in our energy usage in the building, while at the same time offsetting 4 tons of CO2 emissions, or whatever the measurement is. Okay, use a CO2 calculator. My brain's not good for that. And that was the equivalent of offsetting 25% of the transportation that this company does in terms of its vehicle fleet or in terms of its people commuting to the office. We just took a quarter of your cars off the road. Get there with people. Get to the point where what you're measuring is actually something that can help you motivate your personnel or the people that you're trying to sell to. And is it manageable? Is what you're measuring able to really be managed? Looking at bills is a great way to do it because you can easily manage sitting down with some bills and looking at them. Can you measure the CO2? Well, you need to make sure that you have a means of managing that, and who's going to do it. You got to be in a position to be able to say, I can manage looking at this process without it screwing up our normal workday. So you got to tie it back to that. And whether or not it's managed. Those are some good M words tied to measurable to make sure that you're on the right path. Huge point of the conversation here is you need to guard against your motivations driving the value discussion for your client. Your client's motivations drive the value discussion. Period. Don't cross the line. Try maybe get them excited about one of your motivations, and maybe it's something they hadn't thought of, but you're much better off going with their boss's motivation, their top person's motivations, and lining up what you're measuring to what they care about. Do they care about cost savings? Do they care about environmental impact? Do they care about do they care about employee morale? Is that one of their big challenges? Morale is low. They don't have a abiding theme that everybody's buying into this year. That's all great, but are sales up? Can I measure sales being increased by this? Focus your goals based upon what somebody really wants in their value discussion. Okay, that's what a green team should be focused on. That's what a consultant should be focused on. Always focus on the client, because you're likely to get the environmental outcomes that you want to see happen as a result of things that you align to the goals of the business owner. It might not be everything that you want, but trust me, walking away with something from them that they changed is going to give you a much better feeling and probably a much more greater sense of accomplishment and earnings potential than if you didn't do that and you tried to push stuff on. Give them some clarity, give them some say, but then go by what they want to do.